Now then, here we are in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales. Take a look at that. Actually, it's not very beautiful at the minute, but I am going to take you somewhere very special, being Druid's Temple. And if you've not been to Druid's Temple before, it's definitely worth a visit. But look at this, I'm out on old push iron. Although nowadays you can't call them push irons because it's a push carbon fibre. I'm fully set up with some ultra light bikepacking gear, including from PHDesigns, the lightest sleeping bag in the world. Get that. Anyway, let's go get ourselves off to Druid's Temple, find some druids, make a sacrifice, and then we can find somewhere nice to sleep for the evening. That is ace though, eh? Let's go. Here we are, we have made it. Let's unclip. Oh dear. Whew. Let's get you out of there. So this is it, the entrance to Druid's Temple. All well and good, but I am on my road bike and these tyres are not designed for this, so I'm going to be pushing. So I'm going to take my cleated shoes off, whatever you call them, these things here. I'm going to take them off and then we'll put on my little trainers. Here we are then, and every time I come it just gives you that excitable smile. But normally I'm here with the kids and I'm sort of messing about playing hide and seek and things with them, but anyway, I'll play hide and seek on my own because no one else is here. Oh, that is better. What a place though. Basically it's just a massive pile of stones which is organised in such a way just to make it into something that's quite beautiful. So we've got this lovely entrance here, and then all the way around we've got like a big oval of upright stones and piled stones, and there's all these little sort of cubby holes everywhere. And it's called Druid's Temple, but it's nothing to do with the Druids. It's just a folly which was commissioned by a landowner just to sort of keep some people employed a couple hundred years back. There's loads of these cubby holes which look like a doorway to another realm, but you can imagine some sort of hooded demon just standing in here waiting for the sacrifice to take place. You could make a million stories up here. We've got this central section here which is probably where a sacrifice would take place, but it's fairly symmetrical. So at this side you can see we've got another little doorway to another realm. We've got this central bit here, and then the best bit is set behind all this. You wander around the back and it's not that way, it's through here. Look at this. We have got a table with a load of seats around it where you can imagine they'd be meeting to discuss how they'd release the beast from the underworld. And then look at this, we have got a cave through the back which is a little bit wet underfoot. And then in here, who knows, what story can you make up for this? It's where the ogre would be kept, and that'll be released to eat the sacrifice. Something along those lines. It is such a cool place though, and it's just got such a lovely feel when you turn up, because you know that there's been a lot of effort put in here. Even though it has been built in the last 200 years, it still has a really oldie worldy feel about it, as if it is 2,000 years old with a brand new carbon fibre bike in it. Cool, eh? Anyway, let's get that drone up and I want to show it from above. Where's my tea? A cup of tea. It is awesome here, and as much I'd love to stay a little bit longer and camp out for the evening, it is strictly no camping because it is private land and it is owned by an estate, and part of the estate has loads of nice walks and there's a mountain bike trail. They've got yurts that you can go with staying, and there's a nice cafe and everything like that. So if you ever wanted to come and make a decent weekend of it, definitely worth checking out. Anyway, before the ghosts and ghouls come, let's get ourselves off and go find somewhere. Normally I'd say to pitch a tent, but I've got the bivvy bag tonight, and the problem is it's looking very grey, so let's hope it doesn't rain. Anyway, let's skedaddle before it gets scary. Well, I've just set off, flying down a couple of hills, and it's started to rain just slightly, and it's freezing. The temperature, now the sun's gone, has dropped dramatically. So it's going to be a fun one in the bivvy bag. So I'm going to have to find somewhere, I think, as sheltered as possible. So I might find a little bit of woodland, or just behind a wall or something like that. I'm not worried, we'll survive. Well, I've just snuck in over this wall and I found myself a lovely flat pad to put the bivvy bag for the evening. The bike is happy, leant up against the wall there, and I'm happy stood here. Look at that. Just overlooking the reservoir and just listening to the gaggling geese in the background, arguing with each other. Anyway, let's get this kit out and I'm going to show you pretty much the lightest sleep system you'll ever find, and it is living in this little bag there. The whole sleep system and my clothes for the evening in that. First job, we need to get the gloves off, nice and easy. Helmet off. Oh, that is better. Believe it or not, in this tiny little bag here is a down jacket. It's the Wafer Ultima Care down jacket by PHDesigns. So I'll pull this out for you. It weighs about 200 grams, that is it. Give it a bit of a shake. It's literally nothing to it, it's unbelievable. I'll just get this down lofted. It does help with a bit of body heat as well for that, after you've given it a good shake. Well, that's better, covering up that bright yellow, so I'm looking a little bit more stealthy now, and I can blend in and be unseen, although there's no houses or anyone around to be able to see me anyway. And I'm a hell of a lot warmer putting this jacket on. The problem is it's just started to rain, and it wasn't forecast, but you can see it's very grey up there and it is getting dark, and down jackets do not like water. So luckily I've just bumped into a fisherman, and he caught a massive fish actually. I was quite impressed with that, and he said that I can use the fisherman's hut, which is just over the road there, which will be fantastic because obviously it'll get me out of the rain, and then I don't need to worry about my down jacket. As much as I'd love to camp there, and have that to overlook all night and in the morning, I think it might be better taking the easy option and staying dry in a hut. Boom! How lucky am I? It's actually raining properly now as well, and I'm out of the weather and I've got light. Get that! It's just brilliant when life just allows you to sort of meander around and just you end up in some amazing places. You get lucky some nights are bad, but it's just all exciting regardless. Anyway, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you my sleep system, which is in this tiny little bag here. So I'll just undo this, and when I say ultra light, it really is ultra light. So I'll start with, well, first of all, I've got my Thermarest Uber Light sleeping mat. This is a regular size, and obviously it's just tiny. It doesn't weigh much either. It weighs that amount. I can never remember. Next up we have a sleeping bag, but look at the size of that, and it compresses even smaller, literally into the ball of both my hands there. It weighs 200 grams, and this is the PHD Delta Race 100k sleeping bag. It is the lightest sleeping bag in the world for the operating temperature that it has, and that is 10 degrees Celsius. So if I just pull this out of here, got a lovely little stuff sack, you can see it is just like a balloon. There's just nothing there. So obviously it takes a little bit of time just to loft, so we'll give it a shake. It is already lofting well, and that is because it is made from 100% goose down, and it is 1000 fill power. Now most people don't even know that you can get 1000 fill power because most companies don't use it, and that is because it's super rare and therefore it's super expensive. By using 1000 fill power down, it just means you get the maximum amount of loft, and that just means that you're trapping more air, and that's what's going to keep you warm. To also make sure that you get the most out of the down, on this sleeping bag, the whole top side is actually made from box wall construction. So rather than having any sort of sections that are compressed, which are going to be cold zones, it gives like a solid bit of down all the way through, so hopefully it keeps you warmer. Also, the material used is 18 grams a meter squared, and that is just literally the lightest material possible. And the down itself obviously will be compressed by any sort of weight. So the heavier the material, then the more the down will be compressed, and it won't be allowed to expand. So the lighter the material, the more you get out of it. So yeah, pretty clever is that. And also on the back side, what they've done to keep it actually lighter is just use a stitch through construction, because obviously I've got a sleeping pad there, so that I'm going to get my warmth from that. I don't need it to loft because my body's going to compress it anyway. If I talk about the features, there pretty much aren't any. To keep it as light as it is, there are no zips. So what they've done instead with it is designed it so you've got quite a wide opening at the top, and that just allows you to slip into your sleeping bag. And then we've got a elasticated section here with a little pull toggle, so that means you can then pull it up around your neck and just keep all that heat in. So it's pretty clever to say that it's actually featureless. Also around the foot area there is definitely a little bit more down added into it just to keep your feet warmer. So anyway, for a 10 degree bag, that is just incredible. 200 grams. So when I get that out of my bag on a mountain, I'll be tying it down, because otherwise it'll be straight blowing off. I've got a long sleeve top there. I've got a midge net just in case, because obviously I was going to be in the bivvy bag, and that just means that your head's exposed, so midge net's obviously good for that. I've got a little lightweight running hat. I've got a pair of full leggings, just so I can get in that sleeping bag and not be all sweaty and manky against it. And then finally, I have got the Rab Alpine Bivvy. This is fairly lightweight. You can get lighter, but it does compress pretty well, and it is made out of the event fabric, so it's very waterproof and pretty breathable as well. I think that's it. Oh no, one more thing. We have my Sea to Summit pillow. Again, ultra lightweight, pack small. So there we go, that is pretty much the lightest full sleep system, including shelter, that you're ever going to come across. You could probably save a few grams by switching out this Bivvy bag, but I trust this one to keep me dry, and that is very important when you've got a down sleeping bag. So that's staying in my kit. The Thermarest ULTRALIGHT sleeping mat. I don't think you can get lighter, especially for the comfort level of that, so I am definitely keeping hold of that one. The only thing is, I have heard that it does delaminate, and that could be really annoying if you're on a multi-day adventure and you would have to suffer with some pretty uncomfortable conditions if this does fail. My Sea to Summit pillow, this has been everywhere with me for many a year. It's never failed me and it is well comfy, so I'm always happy with taking that with me. And then finally we have the PHDesigns Delta Race 100 sleeping bag, which weighs 200 grams, the lightest 10-degree sleeping bag in the world. What more can I say about that? That is just honestly awesome, and I really cannot wait to test this out properly. Tonight it's meant to be 8 degrees, but I'm going to be sleeping in a hut, so it sort of goes against that. Anyway, you know me, I will definitely be testing this out properly on a mountain somewhere in some even colder conditions. Right, dinner time, set up bed and chill. Let's do it. So there we are in my lovely abode for the evening. It's not quite that lovely though. It's a little bit dirty, there's some bird cack and I can smell a bit of ammonia because of that. But I've been in a hell of a lot worse when I slept in Victoria Cave. That was honestly horrible. It was one of the worst nights I've ever had out, but I have to say I loved it, absolutely loved it. Anyway, I've kept it light, so I don't have a stove, so I can't have a cup of tea, so I've just got water to drink. And I've got a cold dinner. But we've got meatballs and pasta, and I've also got some more pasta there. So I'm just going to get these opened up and eat it with my long-handled spoon. Let's tip that one into that one. Give her a mix, and then let's just hope the friction warms it up. Do it really fast. Cold it is. I can't complain. Food, a roof over my head. It's a simple life, but a happy one at that. There's always a lot of people a lot worse off. So yeah, respect to the people that have to really work to survive. Bloody hell, we have it lucky. We have it so bloody lucky. I've just been pumping my mat up and sorting my sleep system out, and I've had a word with myself. I thought, what is the point of coming all this way out here to test some kit and not actually testing it? Like, am I getting soft in my old age or something? And for me, the euphoric feeling I get comes from being outside in nature. It doesn't come from being in a cabin. You know, I might as well have stayed at home if I'm sleeping in here. So I'm going to sort all my kit out, get myself ready. I'm going to chill out here, pretend I'm drinking a cup of tea, and then I'm going to head out into euphoria. That's what it's all about. That is just ridiculous. Literally, there is nothing there. Anyway, I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to take my down jacket off because that would mean that this sleep system is above 10 degrees and I want to test it at 10 degrees. Well, 8 degrees tonight, I think. Anyway, get that in. Get the pillow blown up. And then we're ready. I'm actually excited now. It does make a massive difference. You know, rather than being inside, get outside. It makes you feel good, honestly. Right. I'm going to drink my cup of tea. I cannot tell you how happy I am just to have made that decision. Sometimes you just have to have a word with yourself. Anyway, I am ready for bed. I've got my gym jams on. I've got my sleep system already there, so I'm just going to gather that up and carry that out. I'll take some water. I've got my head torch on. I've got my head net with me just in case there's some midges. So let's get ourselves out there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's only slightly raining. It's a bit of moisture in air, that's all. Right, let's get myself in this sleeping bag. A bit of jiggery pokery. It's always a bit awkward when you're in a bivvy. But we'll pull this up around my neck, tighten this elastic, and then that just keeps all that heat in. Oh, there we go. And the good thing about this is, because it's elastic round here as well, I can just bring an arm out, pick myself up, do what I need to do, and then I'm back in again, all toasty. What a day though. That's been awesome. Nice to get out on old push iron. We've been to Druid's Temple, which is an absolutely awesome place and definitely worth a visit. And now I've got some new kit to test out, sleeping under the stars, well, the clouds. And hopefully it's going to keep me nice and warm for this evening. Already though, I can definitely feel I am getting warmer just by being in it for this last minute. Yes, it's ace, isn't it? It is ace. Right, I'm going to work my way into this properly. Get my pillow, which is here. There we go. I'm going to lay this lug and I'm going to have a really good night's sleep. We will see the morning. Morning, flowers. Well, that was a very broken night's sleep. I probably slept for about 6 hours, but it was the rain that just kept waking me up. It literally rained all night. And I first realised because it was raining on my face, and then obviously I had to zip up a little bit. I've kept some airflow though, just because obviously I need to breathe in here. But to say that I've been breathing in this all night, it's fairly dry. Little bit of dampness to it. So it has done its job keeping me dry. And the sleeping bag has definitely done its job keeping me warm. So pretty comfortable, other than my ears being harassed all night. Anyway, let's get ourselves up and see what the day has to offer us. And get packed up and back on the road. I also need some breakfast as well. Maybe just another minute. That's not a bad morning, is it? Bloody hell, it were wet. Look at all this here. Boy, nature is beautiful. Right, let's get myself out of here then, without getting wet. Make some space. Let's hope my trainers are dry. Nope, they're a bit wet. Oh. Luckily, I'll be putting on my cycling shoes. Oh. The bike is fully packed. I've just got to switch my shoes out, and I also need to take this jacket off, which I'm finding quite hard to do because I know it's very cold out there, and currently this is like wearing a hug. But I'm gonna have to brave it. It's cold, definitely a chilly one. Well, this has warmed me up. Straight into a hill, but being damp in the air, there's a bit of a chill on my legs. I just need to keep moving. That's all it is. I'll tell you what, when you've got a lot more weight on your bike, you run out of gears quick. It's pretty foggy up here. I'm just at the highest point over the cattle grid, and now I've got a lovely long meandering road back down. So there we go, some ultra lightweight bike packing. And yes, I've only been out for one night, but there's no reason whatsoever that I couldn't continue and go for a good week or so. And the only thing I'd need to think about is food, but I could stop off at some lovely cafes and restaurants and just really enjoy that side of it as well. So it would be one hell of an adventure. So watch this space. The only thing is, that bike, it's just not quite good enough for when it comes to any of the off-road stuff. I just can't risk it. So I think really I do need to get hold of a decent gravel bike and pack everything onto that, and that will just mean that I've got a bit more accessibility to different places, especially when it comes to the camping, because generally you don't camp on a road, do you? You need to find something that is out of the way. The PHD kit that I've used there is absolutely awesome, and if you are after kit that has the maximum warmth to minimum weight, then definitely go check out their website. I'll leave a link in the description below to that, but they cater for everything, all expeditions from Arctic stuff right through to the 8,000 meter peaks, and it is the best, so definitely check it out. As always, give the video a big fat thumbs up, and if you want to contribute towards the channel at all, you can do by buying me a beer in the buy me a coffee link, or you can join the Patreon. I am going to sit down on this bench now and do some pondering by the pond. It's a good day, eh? Where's my tea?